Welcome to Strip Coverlet, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I'm Adrian Fort, and we are here for another poetry discussion, a poetry discussion that will appear in the Poetry Discussion playlist here on the channel, which is now approaching 230 videos at the moment. But this poem comes to us from Donne. It is called The Good-Morrow, and it reads as such. I wonder, by my troth, what thou and I did till we loved. Were we not weaned till then, but sucked on country pleasures childishly? Or snorted we in the seven sleepers' den? 'Twas so, but this all pleasures fancies be. If ever any beauty I did see, which I desired and got, 'twas but a dream of thee. And now, good morrow to our waking souls, which watch not one another out of fear. For love, all love of other sights controls, and makes one little room and everywhere. Let sea discoverers to new worlds have gone. Let maps to other worlds on worlds have shown. Let us possess one world. Each hath one and is one. My face in thine eyes, thine in mine appears. And true plain hearts do in the faces rest, where can we find two better hemispheres, without sharp north, without declining west? Whatever dies was not mixed equally. If our two loves be one, or thou and I love so alike, that none do slacken, none can die. So, this is an interesting poem. It's hogwash, right? It's a love poem. Who cares? It's a love poem. Who needs love? Love doesn't exist. It's imaginary. But there's some interesting things going on herein. The first thing that I want to talk about is right here. The Good-Morrow. The Good-Morrow. When we're setting up the title to a poem, oftentimes we have no real understanding of what it means until the end of the poem. And true enough here. The Good-Morrow could be a poem about absolutely anything. Absolutely anything at all. But we get from Donne a love poem here, and why? Well, I wonder by my troth what thou and I did till we loved. Okay, so we're talking about the past. Way in the past. What did we do before we met each other? What was there in our lives? Well, there were country pleasures. There was snorting in the seven sleepers' den. Oh, we've all snorted in the seven sleepers' den, right? There are all of these pleasures, but they are just fancies. And if ever there was a beauty that I did see, which I did desire and got, right? Don't forget that, and got. I'd had beauties before. Don't forget that. Those were just a dream of thee. So all this stuff that led up to us being together, well, that was just stuff. That was just stuff because, and now good morrow to our waking souls. This is what the poem means. This is what the title means. The good morrow is the morrow with each other. The good morrow is the morrow with love. The good morrow is the one that is taking after the reality which exists now. The reality which exists now is not one of fancies, is not one of desires got. It's one of meaningfulness. Because this love controls all other sights. In fact, this love that we got, baby, hubba hubba, this love that we have between you and I, this love that is ours, the real love, not the fancies that we had before, the real stuff. All of the real stuff is more important than anything. So let's not forget John Donne was writing at the same time of Shakespeare. So the New World was a not yet thing. So this idea of sea discoverers, they didn't even know the whole globe yet. There could be endless riches abound. There could be fortunes to be had just by setting sail. All of these things, these wonderments of the world, were out there to be found. They were out there to be mapped. In fact, in this time, this right here, sea discoverers mapping the world, this was the internet boom of their day. This was the new frontier, literally, that today is only sort of figuratively. This line here is saying, basically, in today's world, I'll give you my phone. You can have my computer. I don't need the internet ever again. We can work just whatever job comes to us so long as we have each other. How romantic, right? Take my phone. But that's the frontier of their day. The sea discoverers, the map makers. These were the individuals who were pushing the boundaries, making the world new, who were finding instant fortune. Those were the people. John Donne here is saying, screw it. You can have it all. I got my baby and my baby's got me, and that's all we need. I don't care about map making. I don't care about sea discoverers. I don't care about any of the other stuff. None of it means anything to me. Imagine that. It's easy to read a poem like this and sort of try to sympathize, I guess I should say. You try to sympathize with the times. But here you have to have true empathy because we live in very different worlds than did John Donne. Imagine saying, I don't need any of the new stuff. TV, you can keep it. Movies, you can have them. The internet, don't even know what it is, really. I don't care. That's what this poem is about. That is what happens in these lines. The idea of this type of love. So here's where, okay. We've talked about that, about what that really means, what that would mean in today's world. But in today's world, we don't really have a translation for this pair of lines. Where can we find two better hemispheres without sharp north, without declining west? We are in a world where everything is so ethereal. I think that we've lost a good deal of what literature means. And so here's something that I'm trying to figure out how to make a video about, and I don't know how. I don't understand how. I don't know the true scope of things. If you go to Google Trends and so what Google Trends does is it shows you the Google search results or the Google search numbers for a period of time. Go back to the 2004 to present and search any poet, search any poem, search any classic writer, any that I can think of. I've sat and done this for hours, I guess, just to depress myself. And there are peaks and valleys, but just like the stock market, kind of and it's constantly going up and to the right for the most part. up and to the right. If you go back far enough, it's always up and to the right, or it always has been on the right scale. All of these, William Shakespeare, Emily Dickinson, John Donne, all of these terms, they will get you a declining result. Back in 2004, these things were fairly constant. They were up and down, up and down, up and down, and now they've troughed. Because the part of it is that the world in which we live is so ethereal that phrases like this, where can we find two better hemispheres without sharp north, without declining west, we have no real interpretation for this, for metaphors in our day. All of the new and exciting stuff in our time is online. All of the new and exciting stuff in our time doesn't really exist. One of the companies that I follow almost religiously is the company of Tesla, because of what they are doing and how critical the work is and how extremely innovative that company is. One of the things that you will hear Elon Musk rail about. So one of the things that makes Tesla so good at what it is they're doing is they have built a speciality in manufacturing itself. The machine that builds the machine that builds the machine. Elon Musk is railing every chance he gets that people need to be concentrated on manufacturing. Our manufacturing has gone bunk because everyone is coding, because everyone is making software, because everyone is designing games. While and whereas the real world stuff is slowly slipping from us. Well, 100 years ago, they made bed frames like this, Liggett and Platt. 100 years ago, they did this. 50 years ago, they kept doing that, and today we still do that. We still make bed frames in this way. I don't know how we got here. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but this poem is about something that we don't particularly have the skills, the world, the existence today to really equivocate. And maybe that's why we're losing touch with literature in general. So I've managed to take a poem by the metaphysicist John Donne and turn it into me railing against those dang kids not staying off of my lawn, not doing their English homework, not memorizing poetry anymore. That's what I've managed to do here. But I think you understand what I'm saying. This poem at one point in time would have had great relevance to people because they knew the new world. They knew map makers and seafarers. That was where the fortune was. And John Donne here is saying, you can have it. I don't care. I became alive. My soul awakened when I found my baby. Our awakening souls. Before that, so it's sort of like existence itself. If you are religious, you believe that there are other planes of existence. Were you on those other planes before you came here? Where were you in 1350? Where were you at the Bronze Age collapse? Did that have to do with you? You don't know. You can't remember anything. You awakened not even at birth. Think about that. What is your earliest memory? For most people, it goes back to around the age of 4 or 5, 3, 4, 5, somewhere in there. You really started becoming a conscious being. Here we have John Donne communicating not only that you can take the future away as far as being anything more than I am today as far as building fame or fortune goes. The good morrow is not fame or fortune. The good morrow is a morrow with my baby. Not only that, I didn't even know what living was until I had her. That is all I have for this poetry discussion. If you enjoy what I do here, hitting the like button helps me out on this channel as it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, literature is the only thing that I talk about on this channel. Poetry every Monday, but also novel read-along, short stories, writer's quotes, things like that. So if you might enjoy those things, consider hitting the subscribe button in order to stick around for more.